Hi everybody. Okay, I'm just typing the pin in. Everybody, whilst you're waiting for me to type the thingamabob in the title, my ear hurts. How's everyone's energy today? Drop your energy update of how you were feeling, and I'm gonna write this like thingamabob. Drop your energy update. Hi Emily, who also said hi. Hi Standing on an Edge. Everybody say hi. Say hi and let me know what your energy is like today whilst I drop this pin. 4 bodies. Okay. Your 4 bodies. Plus how to get intuitive. Plus tarot readings. Okay. So drop me how your energy is today, guys, whilst we're waiting for everybody to join. Hey, Jazz. I'll talk to you soon. And then we can start. Okay. I'm pinning this here. All right. How is everybody's energy? My energy has been up and down today. It always gets really high with my clients. I just did more like past life regression stuff, which is always really fun. Let me click record on this. Oops, hold on a sec, guys. All right, we're starting in a sec. Hold on. Monica's a bit slow today. I'm in my luteal phase, and in my luteal phase, I'm a little bit slower than usual. Also, my luteal phase and everyone's luteal phase, I'm very, very like cool, calm, and collected. So I tend to just like not give a shit about anything, which is great. But actually I'm also really, really chill. And like sometimes that chill can actually be annoying because I just want to like do nothing all day. Hi Harriet. Hi Bonnie. Me too, Jazz. Hey Paige, you feel buzzed. Fuck yeah. Oh, I'm so glad that you feel buzzed. It's like, hey Felicia. It's like, hey Rach, you're feeling kind of blur? Yeah, I'm feeling a little bit like meh. I'm in that phase of my cycle where I'm just like, I'm really ready for a nap. Also, I've been having super late nights. Anyway, it's all for good reason, so it's totally fine. All right, we have 13 of you on, and that is the number of the feminine, so we're going to jump in. So I'm going to start talking about the 4 bodies, and then also I've written down what else I want to talk about. I also want to talk about the energy in February and March. And then I also want to talk about how to tap into your intuition, and then we'll do tarot readings. So, yay, bookkeeping badass style. Amazing. So stick around to the end because that's when I'll pull you all a tarot card for like your month of February, although we're like 7 days in, but whatever. Okay, let's start with the Feb energy. So I feel like a lot of you have been in the same boat of this week's been crazy with like work and just so go. The Feb energy is really intense. It's like a lot of abundance, a lot of high vibration, so much drive and ambition. This is really like the month to be showing the fuck up for yourself. Now, because there is so much abundance in the air in February, it's also a really good time to make those investments because the energy will mean that it's going to come back to you tenfold. Something else that's really important is that Mercury will retrograde in 10 days on the 17th of February. So if anybody knows Mercury retrogrades, you want to be avoiding like booking flights, booking accommodation, and like paying lots of money for things. Try and do it beforehand because you'll often make mistakes. I mean, I booked, for example, Shelby's flights in November for the November New York event. I booked it in a retrograde and I completely booked her flights for the wrong date. And I sat there and I went over and over and over her flights and I still fucked them. I'm like, what the hell? Anyway, so make sure that if you're booking anything in Mercury retrograde from the 17th of February to the 10th of March, that you just triple check everything and like get somebody else to look at it as well so you don't make a mistake. Now, the March energy, this is awesome. So there is a trifecta supermoon this year of March, April, and May. What this means is that if you do the work in March, it's a lot of Virgo energy as well. So like it's a really good time to do the inner work because all that inner child stuff's going to come up and like you being really, really you being really critical of yourself in March. Now, because March is the first supermoon of all 3 supermoons in March, April, May, if you do the inner work in March, it's going to be really beneficial because that will carry on in April and May and you won't have the effects. If you know when like it's a full moon and sometimes you just feel like really like, whoa, you won't have that as much and your shit won't come up because you've dealt with it in the first supermoon. So what's really interesting is like February is the time to like take the action, make the change, invest in the things. And then March, because of all the Virgo energy and also What else did I write down for March? It's the best time to do the work. Yeah, I already said that. So, because February is all that abundance, drive, energy, that's the time to like commit to the things that you want to do to like heal your inner child stuff and all that like self-critical shit that's in your head. And then you'll heal it in March, and then in April and May with the super full moons, you won't feel as shitty as the average Joe Blow that hasn't done the fucking work, right? So imagine this, in 3 months' time, you've done all the work. And I know for some of you right now, it can seem overwhelming, scary, blah, blah, but wouldn't you rather in 3 months' time be like, thank fuck I did that, then wonder, I wonder how would I have felt right now if 3 months ago I actually did that stuff, right? So do yourself a favor. We know what the energy is going to be like. Do yourself a favor and make sure in March you're doing the thing, which is obviously like fucking perfect, because I like intuitively pick dates for things and they always turn out to be like the best fucking dates. And you know what's also funny? So Feb 17th, that's the beginning of Mercury retrograde, and that's the beginning week of the mastermind as well. But the Mercury retrograde finishes before the New York event, and New York starts on the 14th of March. So we're in the middle of March, and it's a really good time, because if you can fix all of your shit in March, then April and May are going to be like guns blazing for you. Okay, what else did I want to write down? I think I wrote everything. And because there's so much Virgo energy in March, doing that work is really important for yourself. Okay, let's talk about the different bodies. So I was writing this week, as I said on my Instagram story, for week 6 in the certification program, which is my coaching certification. Not that I'm in, that I'm running, which is fucking amazing. If I can't say so myself, which I can, so I'm saying it. It's fucking amazing. And the reason why I made it was because I was actually just like so sick of shitty coaches, of people that doing like, for example, like, no offense to anyone that's done it, but like IIN teaches you fucking nothing about actually changing somebody's life. And like the modalities that I teach, you don't learn that in IIN. So I actually, that, for example, if anyone wants to ask questions about that, I nearly did that program and I'm really glad I didn't. And I've seen people do it and I'm like, wow, you are so not well equipped to actually like do life coaching. Like, you know, you have fucking health stuff, but not like the deep trauma release. So if anybody's thinking, I'm seeing all these things on Instagram about like, save this for IIN, save this for IIN, guys, just, you don't have to do my course, but please just don't do that IIN course unless your gut is like 1,000%. Yeah, it doesn't teach you like enough, and also anybody can do it, and like there's not like hard exams and stuff, so you really, it's too easy breezy for my liking. Anyway, okay, and like I don't make shit easy breezy. Yes, Scarlett's done it. You don't even really learn health stuff. There you go. Yes, Scarlett, you did it. That's right. I had another client as well. I've had a few clients that did it, and it kind of concerned me when it came to them coaching with me, and like some of the stuff like that I said blew their minds, and I'm like, really? So yeah, Scarlett's done it. I don't recommend that you do it, okay? But obviously it's all your personal choice. Tune into what your intuition says, but I don't recommend that you do it, put it that way. Okay, so everybody, you've got 4 different bodies. Now, not like 4 different physical bodies. You've got your physical body, you've got your emotional body, you've got your spiritual body, and you've got your mental body. And what's really important is that all of these bodies have a different purpose, and they all are different when they're in balance, okay? For a lot of people, they are way out of whack in their spiritual and their emotional bodies, and it shows up in different ways. So let's just go through the first one. Let's go through the physical body. So when your physical body is, I mean, it's pretty obvious what that one is. It's like your physical self. It's your organs, your skin, your hair, your eyes, all that jazz. When your physical body is in balance, you're going to feel flexible, open, and like healthy. You're going to feel energized and healthy. But when it's out of balance, you're going to feel like, this is obvious shit for the physical one, firstly. You're going to feel sick, run down, inflamed, puffy, all that sort of stuff, okay? Now, the emotional body. So the emotional body and the spiritual body are the ones that I want you guys to really be like tuning into. So the emotional body is what I work with a lot with my clients, right? And hi everybody joining. So the emotional body is what I work with my clients a lot, and this is about like the aura outside of your body, and your aura can be different colors and it can be different like shapes. So it can be really like what's the word, like yucky, I'm gonna say, or it can be like beautiful and glowing. And a lot of you would know when somebody walks into the room and they have a glowing aura versus like a yuck fucking aura of just like, ugh, like no, or like tension around them. That's your emotional body, okay? So with your emotional body, it's the nervous system, it's your hormones, it's like fluid retention. Did I say tears? It's tears, it's bloating. That is your emotional body. So for example, with bloating, if you feel like you're constantly bloated, you're holding on to a feeling of like not being safe in your lower stomach, because we hold the feeling of safety in our stomach. So your physical body can also show you things that are in your emotional body, which is why working with all four of these is really important. So with the physical body, when you are feeling really balanced in your, it's with the emotional body. With the emotional body, when you're feeling really balanced in your emotional body, you will feel open, honest, like you're less judgmental, you're more generous and calm and accepting of people. Your cortisol, estrogen, progesterone, insulin, and testosterone will also be in balance. Your hormones are going to be way more in balance, and you're not going to be retaining as much water. Now, what's really interesting is like, okay, so the emotional body and the spiritual body, they are feminine energy, and then did I say the spiritual and emotional? The spiritual and emotional body are, you can tell them in my luteal phase, I can't talk as well. So those bodies are feminine, and then you've got the physical body and you've got the mental body, and they are masculine. Now, most people are over dominant in their physical body and their mental body because we live in a masculine culture. And then most people are underactive, like out of balance, like underbalanced in their emotional and spiritual body because we have not much feminine in our culture. So you can see how doing the feminine work is also going to help your emotional and spiritual bodies, and then you can also see how your emotional and spiritual bodies are going to help your feminine energy as well. So when you are underbalanced, so you don't have enough of the emotional body, you will have a lack of emotional intelligence, you'll have a lack of trust, little intuition, and little ability to read people. Now, this can also show up as the bloating, like I was saying before, holding water in your face, limbs, joint inflexibility, and stiffness. That's what it can show up as. Now, if you are overbalanced, what this means then is you have too much of the emotional body, which you don't want either. You want to be perfectly in balance. If you have too much or an overbalance of the emotional body, you'll be obsessive, irrational, anxious, and often feeling like you're drowning in situations. Okay? This can really affect your hormonal balance, and your hormones are really key to your emotional body as well. So if your hormones are out of whack, if your cycle's out of whack, that's really going to be affecting your emotional body too, ladies. Okay, is this making sense for everybody? Is everyone like, fuck, this is interesting? I hope so. Give me a love heart if you are. I hope so. Okay, the next one I want to talk about is your mental body. So this is going back to a masculine body. This is masculine. So this is our thoughts, attitudes, beliefs, subconscious programming, judgments. That's that stuff. This is the mental body now, okay? So thank you all for love hearts. Love it. Okay, so when your mental body, and I'm doing like a very quick overview of this because I've got to save some juicy, sciencey info for my coaching certification women. But when your mental body is balanced, you'll be very proactive and problem solving. You're going to be innovative. You're good, like you're emotionally intelligent. You're great at solving emotional or physical issues. You're no nonsense. You don't go around in circles, and you feel like you have a true north. But when you are underbalanced, that's where the brain fog comes up. You lose your ideas really quickly. You're tired all the time. Lack of a passion and purpose. Not much ethic, a work ethic, self-doubt, and confusion. That's the underbalance. Now, when you're completely in balance, you're going to be, when you're overbalanced towards mental, that's like egocentric, overdrive, narcissistic, little or no empathy towards your work or towards others. And you're often really, really in overdrive. And how many people these days are really, really in overdrive? I'll admit, yesterday I was in overdrive. A lot of us are really in overdrive every day, and that's like an overuse of the mental body, which is body. That's why you got to have that combo of realism and then also like the spiritual world, because that's what makes you like grounded but also fucking amazing. If you're a coach, for example, that's what makes you grounded and like so amazing, and people find you so relatable because you'll also give them a slap across the face when they need it, but you're also like all into the woo-woo stuff, and you're like psychic and all that fucking epic shit. Okay, so the next thing I want to talk to you guys about, I'm like going through this in a schedule because I don't want to be on here for too long because I actually have a lot of work to do and I have a podcast and I want to do Pilates before my podcast. Like I have an interview. Okay, so the next thing I want to talk to you guys about is how to tune into your intuition, and then we will do tarot cards. Okay, so everybody get comfy for your intuition stuff, okay? Get comfy. Now, I want to explain a couple things to you. Firstly, it's really easy when you are starting to get into like getting in touch with your intuition. It can be really easy for your brain to be like, oh, you saw it in a movie, like you saw that last week, or like that was on this TV show. That is your rational mind coming in and trying to make sense of something that it doesn't understand. So I'm going to give you an example I gave my client before. Okay. Oh, fuck. What was the example? It was a really good one. Basically, like your rational mind and your spiritual mind are like kind of polar opposites. Like that's right. So this is what I was saying. So your rational mind is the one that's like, you know, the only planet is our planet. There's nothing outside the universe. Like that's your rational mind, right? Like done. And then your spiritual mind is the one that kind of sometimes thinks, isn't it weird that like we fall in love? And isn't it weird that we like go to work every day? We're sometimes like robots. That is your spiritual mind that kind of gets confused by reality. So the two are like completely like opposite. Your spiritual mind is like, let's just like play, and like there's so many universes and it's very inquisitive. And then the rational is like, there's nothing else outside of us. So they're kind of polar opposites. So what we want to be like, not shaming either of them, and you don't want to shame your rational mind because it's there to like, for a very particular reason. Hold on, I need water, 1 second. It's there for a particular reason. It's just that when I'm teaching you guys in a second how to get into your intuition, what will often happen is your rational mind will come in and be like, you saw that in this movie, and therefore you like can't, like quote unquote, can't believe it. So what will happen is like the more that you practice, and then the more shit like that happens that you like had an intuitive hit about before it was going to happen, that acts as the proof of like this actually works. And like, I'll be honest with you guys, I definitely was like about this before I got really intuitive, especially before I really opened up my psychic abilities. I was kind of like, really? And I didn't really think anybody could do it, but like pretty much anyone is psychic, right? Because we all have a pineal gland, and that's where you fucking get your images from. Anyway, and so it was actually like when I started to hear things, and then when things actually started to come true for me, not come true, but like they would happen in my reality like a week later, that I was like, whoa, because I would write down stuff that I saw, and then I'd be able to flick back and see like, I fucking wrote this, and then it actually happened. So crazy shit. Anyway, so with intuition, we're not going to get psychic yet. We're just going to start with like strengthening your intuition so that you guys can just be like figuring out those, you know, those decisions where you're like, you have this battle between your head and your gut, and you're like, I don't know which one to do with your head and your heart. I want to help you guys like be able to tap into those so that you can actually make a decision that you trust and know is the right decision. So when your intuition is telling you something, it feels expansive, okay? So like, for example, like, should I go and see so-and-so tonight? It will feel like I'll take you guys through it, but when you have your eyes closed and stuff, it will kind of feel like, like it'll feel like an opening of a flower a little bit. But then when something's a no, like that's a yes, right? But when something's a no, it'll feel like, or it'll feel like hard to think about or hard to like come into your awareness. So when I'm being intuitive, I often have like this bubble around my head kind of thing. Everyone's different, right? But I'm gonna explain to you what it's like for me. So when I'm asking an intuitive question, not being psychic, when I'm asking an intuitive question, I often feel like I have a bubble around my head. And then, for example, I'll say like, what am I gonna say? Okay, I'm gonna use one tonight. So do I go to the sauna tonight, or do I like go to bed early and relax tonight, right? So then it will be like, I'll think to myself, do I go to the sauna? That's like a no. I can feel it in my chest. It's like a fuck no. It feels hard. It feels like I have to push through something. It feels like tension. So that's a no, right? And then if I was to think to myself, like, should I just like make dinner and then like watch a movie? That's like, yes. Now, what often also happens for me is ego comes through my left side, and like in universal guidance comes through my right. So that's what it is for me. Everyone is a little bit different, but that's what it is for me. And the reason why I figured that out is because over time, all these messages have always been like really light and really expansive, and these ones tend to be hard. So even when I'm like walking down the street and like shit's talking to me, right, I will know when my ego is talking to me versus when guidance, because it feels different and it comes from different angles. The other thing as well is I like to try and trick myself when I'm doing like intuitive stuff or psychic stuff. So I'll be in it and then I'll see something that's really amazing and I'll want to test it. So what I'll then do is I'll bring in like something else that I actually think like my ego thinks could be the truth, right? So like let's use an example. So for example, I'm gonna use an example actually. Okay, so for example, this was ages ago. I was dating a guy and he was starting to get really quiet, and I tuned into my intuition and my intuition said space, and I was like, nah, fuck that. And turns out he needed fucking space, right? That's what happened. So then a couple weeks ago, I did the exact same thing and I was tuning in. Hi, Liv. I did the exact same thing. I was actually on the toilet and I was tuning in and I actually got the message of like, stay. And I was like, interesting. Like my head was kind of like, it should be space, right? And so then what I was doing is I was actually sitting there and I was like, okay, let's bring in space. So I was then trying to bring in space, like space is the answer. And everything in me was like, nope, and like pushing that away. So what you can also do sometimes if you want to test your intuition or test the message that you're getting is bring in the thing. If you're getting a really amazing message, bring in the thing that you think you should see, and then feel if that feels like, oh, push it away. And then you know, like that's actually not the answer and what you're seeing is the truth. So I like to test it like that. Okay, so I want you guys to all think of a question that you want to ask yourself. It can be something as simple as like, it needs to be a yes or no question. We're going to start off really easy. It needs to be yes or no answers, I should say. So like, do I have stir fry for dinner? Or should I go for a run today? Or like is so-and-so my husband? Like think of something where it's like a yes or no kind of question. I'll give you guys all a couple seconds. I hope you're all finding this really interesting, by the way. I'll reply to my texts whilst you guys are doing that because I can see them coming through. My friend texted me saying, have you ever had acupuncture on your vulva? Can't say I have, but now I'm really intrigued. Can't say. Okay, has everyone got theirs? Guys, put in some like emojis when you've got your question that you want to like get an answer to. Can't say I have, but now I want to. Okay, tell me guys when you've got your questions. Okay, Nadine, you've got yours. All right, cool. Yeah, so keen to see. Okay, beautiful guys. All right, so what we're all gonna do is we're all going to close our eyes and just taking some really deep breaths. And just really relaxing your body on the exhalation. Feeling like your whole body is melting into the ground. And you're just letting everything go. Really softening and surrendering your whole body, letting it just melt. Imagining that your shoulders are melting and your arms are melting and your whole body is just melting into the ground. Okay. Now I want you all to think of that question. Ask yourself the question. And is the answer like contractive energy or is it expansive? What do you get? And really just like feel into it. Does it feel expansive? Maybe in your heart, or does it feel like icky and contracted in your heart? And if you have time, you can ask another question maybe about something else. Contracted, Emily. Okay, cool. So that's a no. And then whenever you guys are ready, you can just like say thank you for the guidance and for the support, and then you can come back. I feel like I'm doing a group coaching call. This is like like an example. Actually, we haven't done this in a group call, but like this is an example of like I take you guys through processes, not just talk at you. Okay, how was that for everybody? Can you guys all share? So Emily said contracted, so that's obviously a no. Contracted, so that's a no. Awesome. Okay, what else have we got? And I hope this is like a good contracted, like that was like affirming what I needed to know. If anybody had like any realizations, they want to share what it actually was they were asking, I would love to know. Or can you like DM me afterwards? I'd love to know what you were asking. Anybody else want to share what theirs was? Contracted. Oh, it's like a theme of contraction tonight. Interesting. Maybe we all really needed like that. I think expansive, but not sure. Okay, that's right, Jenny. Do it again. Remember also, guys, there's a bit of pressure here because like your brain's like, I'm on a time frame. Like Monica's going to say, open your eyes in a second. So I would definitely, if you want to, I would definitely like rewatch this when there's no time pressure and you can pause, or just, you know how to do it now, do it in your own time where there isn't time pressure so you can really feel into it. Because I find when there's time pressure, I can't be psychic. That's why I try and do a lot of my channeling of an evening, because there's no time pressure. Whereas in the morning, if I have time pressure, unless I have like 2 hours, then I don't do it. Okay, so Felicia, Boho Desert Beauty, you said ask the opposite and it felt amazing feelings in the opening of yes, yay. Tay, expansive, expansive, expansive. Beautiful ladies. Oh, I'm so happy for you all. Okay, I really hope that was helpful. Mixed feelings, stomach was very contracted, but heart was expansive. Okay, so that tells me that with that one, that tells me that it feels unsafe, probably like unfamiliar and a bit scary, but your heart is like, yes. So the reason why this is a great example, so mixed feelings, stomach was contracted, but heart was expansive, very emotionally mixed. So when that happens, you hold that feeling of safety in your stomach, right? So what that's telling me is that whatever you are asking, it's like nerve-wracking. It's out of your comfort zone. But your heart has a vibrational frequency 5,000 times greater than your brain. So what that means is your heart can see the future is what that means, right? So your heart is saying yes because it knows for your future self, it's a yes. It's just that it's a bit nerve-wracking for you.